The 8500 and the N9120 are high-volume scanners designed for enterprise customers. They connect with USB or directly to the network and have built-in OCR to quickly convert pages into searchable text. These devices also have extensive security features to protect sensitive data. Your first consideration will be device placement. Both devices sport a large form factor and require a suitable operating environment. The 8500 fn2 weighs 38.5 pounds, is 20.2 inches wide, 23.04 inches deep, and has a height between 10.4 to 20.28 inches, depending on whether the feeder is opened or closed. The N9120 fn2 weighs 47.18 pounds and is slightly larger at 23.7 inches wide, 25 inches deep, and a height of about 11.3 to 24.5 inches. Both scanners share the same operating environment requirements. Product walkaround. Let's do a product walkaround to become more familiar with your HP scanner. Both the 8500 fn2 and the N9120 fn2 are dual sheet feed and flatbed scanners. Often the flatbed is used to scan more difficult materials, like a book, passport, or fragile documents. The 8500 fn2 is an A4, or letter legal scanner, and the N9120 fn2 is an A3, or 11 by 17 scanner. This also means that the 9120 has a larger automatic document feeder, and that documents can be loaded in landscape or portrait orientation. On the front side of these scanners is an 8-inch color touch LCD screen to navigate menus. There's also a convenient pull-out keyboard to make typing easier than using the virtual keyboard. To open the keyboard, push in and then pull to extend. Also on the front, you'll find the power button and a hardware integration pocket for things like card readers. On the left side, there's an easy access USB port for scanning to a thumb drive. And on the back are ports to connect cables, like power, network, and USB. The label on the back contains the device model and serial number, if you ever need it. When placing the 8500 fn2 or the N9120 fn2 on a flat surface, be sure and use the handles on each side. Connections. There are 3 ways to connect your scanner. A USB port on the back can be used to connect locally to a desktop PC. A network port is available to connect the scanner directly to the network via an Ethernet cable. And to connect the network via Wi-Fi, there's an optional accessory available. Before the 8500 and the N9120 scanners are available for use, appropriate software needs to be downloaded and installed and or configured. There are 3 common software use cases. First, if connected to the PC via a USB cable, HP Scan, which is bundled with the scanner, can be used to control the scanner and to create shortcuts, sometimes called profiles, of commonly used scan settings and destinations like email or a network folder. Second, other scanning software can control the scanner via a Twain, ISIS, WIA, or Kofax driver. This is often determined by the scanning software. Twain is the most often used driver. Third, the scanner can be connected directly to the network. A network Twain driver is available, or the embedded digital sending features in the scanner's firmware can be used to initiate scan jobs. The 8500 and the N9120 have the ability to scan to email, folders, cloud storage, and other destinations using the built-in software that is also capable of OCR or creating searchable PDF files. To install software required, go to support.hp.com and enter in the scanner's model name and number. This will take you to the scanner's support page. Click on Software, Drivers, and Firmware to see a list of available software. To download HP Scan, expand the Driver Product Installation Software category and click on Basic Drivers. From this list, click on the Download button for HP Scan and Twain package for USB. As the name applies, HP Scan and the Twain driver are downloaded. So if you just need the Twain driver, this is still the same link. If the scanner is connected to the network and you need a Twain driver, choose the Network Twain driver from the list. Visit this site anytime you need to download software, drivers, or device firmware updates for your scanner. It is best to keep everything up to date due to ongoing enhancements and bug fixes. When the download's complete, run the installation program and connect the scanner. When done, the scanner is ready for use. Loading documents. The maximum capacity of the input trays is 150 sheets of 75 grams per meter squared, or 20-pound paper for the 8500 fn2, and it's 200 sheets for the N9120 fn2. When using heavier paper, the maximum capacity is decreased. When loading documents, make sure that the paper guides touch the edges of the original documents. If there's any clearance between the paper guides and the edges of the documents, the scanned images might be skewed. Also, for a mixed stack, place the widest pages on the bottom and the smallest centered on the top of the stack. This is because the rollers are in the middle and they will grab the paper properly if it's centered. With the N9120 fn2, remember, users can load documents in portrait or landscape orientation. Originals should be face up and the top of the edge of the pages into the input tray. If scanning on glass, pages should be face down. If you forget how to load the feeder, just refer to the icon on the input tray. With pages in the feeder, it's time to scan. Remember, users have several options to initiate a scan. As mentioned, they can use HP Scan, a driver like Twain, or the scanner's LCD control panel. Let's briefly look at each situation. HP Scan. After downloading and installing HP Scan, you'll find HP Scan is now available from the Windows Start menu and on the desktop. HP Scan is an easy-to-use scanning application that provides several common shortcuts to choose from and a scan button. Simply choose a shortcut and click Scan. The other choices in HP Scan allow editing shortcut settings or creating new shortcuts. To change a setting, change it on the right, and then click the Save icon on the shortcut name to save the changes. To see more settings, click the More button. A workflow menu is presented, allowing control of scanning quality, document adjustments, and destinations. To determine if changes are needed, review the page preview images to see if image quality and document quality meet expectations. Make any required changes and click the Save icon. To create a new shortcut, just click on the Create New Shortcut button. To revert to a shortcut's original settings, you can right-click on the shortcut name and choose Restore Original Settings. Twain. The 8500 and the N9120 scanners can also be controlled via a Twain driver. In these cases, users acquire a scanned image directly into the scanning application. The application allows users to choose an available Twain driver installed on the PC. When you install the HP Scan, you also install the Twain driver. This means when it's time to choose a scanner, the HP ScanJet driver appears as a choice. Once selected, when the user clicks the Scan button, the HP Twain user interface appears, allowing changes to the scan settings. Notice how the HP Twain interface resembles HP Scan. This is by design. The common look and feel means users will be familiar with the menu choices, regardless of the ScanJet used. One thing that's missing in the Twain driver is the Destinations tab. And that's because the Twain driver delivers scanned content directly to the scan application. With Twain, the scanning application is the destination. Users can choose from a list of shortcuts on the left and click on the Scan button. Like HP Scan, users can edit or create new shortcuts specific to their needs. Embedded Digital Send. Scans can also be initiated using the scanner's LCD touch control panel. The 8500 fn2 and the N9120 fn2 have, embedded in firmware, digital sending capabilities for scanning to email, shared folders, the cloud, or to a thumb drive. Before these features can be used, they must be enabled and configured. This is accomplished by logging into the scanner's embedded web server. Get the scanner's IP address by touching the info icon on the touch panel. Then log into the scanner by entering that IP address in your browser. Ignore the security warning. This appears because the scanner's CA is unknown. When the scanner's homepage appears, you'll see several menu choices. First, the scanner needs to be configured for your company domain. Click on the Networking tab and then Network Identification. Ensure the domain name is correct and click Apply. All of the scanner settings can be accessed and configured from this internal web page. For our purposes, let's look at the digital sending settings. Click on Scan/Digital Send. And on the far left, you'll see settings for scan to email, scan to a network folder, SharePoint, and USB drive. Look at the email settings, the default job options. To enable or disable scanning to email, click this checkbox. Other email job settings include SMTP server, defaults for addresses and subject, scan settings, file type, and whether users can change these settings. Similarly, scan to a network folder, SharePoint, and USB drive have settings to enable or disable and change default settings. Simply enable the digital sending features desired and configure them to meet your needs. After configuration, users can initiate scans by choosing one of the digital sending features on the scanner's home screen menu. Scan quality issues. Sometimes the scanner default settings need to be changed because of poor image quality. Whether using HP Scan, the Twain driver, or the embedded digital sending features, you can change the resolution, color mode, exposure settings, and more. Other settings include automatically straightening pages, deleting blank pages, and cleaning up backgrounds. Experiment with different settings to determine which ones yield the best results. Maintenance. The Scanjet 8500 fn2 and the N9120 fn2 require little maintenance. However, occasional cleaning and replacing rollers may be necessary depending on usage and the operating environment. Paper feed rollers in the automatic document feeder require replacement when worn or when you're having frequent paper pickup problems. Lift the feeder to access the glass and notice the scanning strips. They can get dirty and cause image quality problems. To clean them, use a lint-free cloth, moistened just with glass cleaner. Avoid the other cleaners, especially alcohol, which can damage the strips. You can also clean the separation and paper feed rollers if you're having paper pick problems. Power down the scanner and open up the ADF hatch. Using a clean, lint-free cloth moistened with distilled or clean tap water, wipe the separation rollers from right to left. Rotate the roller a full 360 degrees to ensure the entire roller surface is cleaned. Next, clean the paper feed rollers in a similar fashion. The separation and paper feed rollers might need to be replaced when it's indicated on the control panel or if the scanner's not working correctly. An ADF roller replacement kit is available for the Scanjet 8500 fn2 and the N9120 fn2, and it includes separation rollers, pickup roller module, and some instructions. Replacing rollers is an easy task. This is so customers can replace them when necessary and avoid service charges. For example, to replace the separation rollers, power down the scanner and open up the document feeder hatch. And then remove the old roller and replace with the new one, and then close the roller cover. Replacing the paper feed rollers is just as easy. When done, close the document feeder and power up the scanner. It's ready for use. The HP 8500 FN2 and the N9120 FN2 are designed to provide high-quality scans reliably and quickly. If you experience any problems using these scanners, remember that each product has a support page with more helpful information. This is the same place we downloaded the HP scanning software and drivers. This is the preferred location for software, drivers, and firmware updates. And remember, it's a good practice to keep all devices up to date. Happy scanning!